Today I'm driving the 2023 Land Rover Discovery. What I think it's probably the most underrated and overlooked three-row SUV in the market, and this year it's got a bit spicy on the outside and inside. Let's talk about it. Okay, check this out. We have the keys to the 2023 Land Rover Discovery, but this thing has a facelift. On top of that, today we're going to talk about why I think this bad boy over here, it is completely underrated by many people that are looking for a three-row luxury SUV. But before we do that, special thanks goes to our great friends at Bud's JLR. They're a Jaguar Land Rover dealership located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. They're kind enough to allow me to borrow this for the day, show you everything you need to know about it, and specifically why this thing is completely underrated. It is passed by many people as if being just a standard SUV, but this thing offers a lot more than that, and that's what we're going to talk about. If you want to take this for a test drive, don't forget to check out the link in the description below. Reach out to my good friend Mark, maybe check this out in person. Now let's start talking about what's new with the 2023 facelift model. First of all, let's talk about the exterior. The first thing you notice that this has these new headlights design. You have that beautiful day-night running lights, but if you look carefully, the design of this area matches with the grille over here, and it has these beautiful LED headlights and beautiful finish all the way through. That way it matches with the entire body design, which I absolutely love. And then you have the Discovery letters at the front, so people know this is the Discovery vehicle. Also, the bottom part here for the bumper, we have this aggressive design for the side fender. There's the fog lights at the bottom. This thing is equipped with 22-inch wheels. You get the option between 20-inch and 22. The front one in this case are 285 by 40, and it has this massive brake caliper. As you can see here, 6 pistons in the front. Moving on to the side profile, this is slightly different to any other Land Rover vehicle in my opinion. It has a unique shape all around. It kind of reminds me a bit of that BMW clown shoe because it has a very long bonnet or hood in this case, and then shorter on this side. But I love the beautiful finish of the glossy black on the side. We have the rails at the top in case if you wanted to make use of that. The tail lights are very similar to the 2022 model, just slight design change. And then at the top over there, we have that beautiful spoiler with the brake light and the hidden windshield wiper. Now, one thing that I have to mention about this that a lot of people might not like is if you have OCD, this is not the best vehicle in my opinion. Why? Because the license plate is not centered. And I think this is one of the signature design of this car is the fact that unlike other vehicles, it is very unique at the back. If you look carefully, it's not here, it's actually on the side. It doesn't bother me, but I could see some people being bothered by that. The next thing you notice with this is that the tailgate size is huge, and of course it is automatic, so you can either open it through the key fob or the button. In this case, we'll press the key fob right there and give you access to this area. Now, this is not a full-size three-row SUV, meaning that you don't get the most space behind the third row. But if you wanted, you could fold these seats over here, and they do come with the option to be powered. In this case, these are manually foldable. You pull the lever, and you can fold them so it gives you more access and more space around this area. It does come with a cover here for the second and the third row area. In this case, if you need, for example, to make use of this, you can use that. But If that's not what you're looking for, well, guess what? It does come with a tiny little cover over here for that tiny little space that you get on the side. On top of that, you get this extra space in here. When you open the tailgate, this thing unfolds automatically. Then moving on to the side over here, if you look carefully, this is the pour area option. So for people that haven't picked that option, but what you do get is power button for this part over here. You get power button for the air ride if you want to lower the vehicle, and you get these two buttons for the second row. So if you want to fold the second row for here, you can do it automatically. The headrest already folded, so you press that button and essentially there you go. You can fold the second row, and now it gives you a lot more space overall. Look at that. Now I do have a bag onto that side, so that thing is not folding completely, which means this area, it's not folding completely here too for the third row. If you jump into the third row, here's one thing that you notice. There's this compartment over here. You press that, it gives you extra space. On top of that, the third row does come with heated seats on, and of course, a beautiful sunroof, panoramic roof in this case. Look at the size of this thing for the third row people. A proper experience into the third row. And there's also another compartment onto the side. Now, let's just say you have a handbag. You can put it right here. See this area? Beautifully. You can put a lot of stuff in there, or maybe the baby bag or something like that, because this thing comes with ISOFlex in here. Now let's jump into the second row. Let's talk about what you get on the side. First of all, this beautiful leather finish. I love Range Rovers and Land Rovers in total, to be honest, because they make some really build quality on the interior in comparison to other models. Like, I love the fit and finish in comparison to like the Audis or the Mercedes or even BMWs. They don't build car like this. You might not like the engineering part of it, you might not like the design of it, but I have to give it to them. These guys built some amazing quality cars on the inside. And then you have a button over here for the window. Jumping into the second row, the first thing you notice, beautiful leather with white stitching all around, kind of matching that exterior color. There's a power recliner for the second row, beautiful rubber mats all the way around. Now keep in mind, this is not the Defender, which means you don't get a full rubber mat. You could wash the interior. You couldn't do with that. On top of that, at the top over here, we have USB ports, and then there is, I believe, screens that you can get as an accessory for the second row. To fold the second row to get access to the third row, what you do is that you have these buttons at the top over here. You press this forwards. As you can see, it's a 60/40 design for the second row, and when you get down here, there's this lever. You push that lever, and then you can move the seat forward. And check this out. Gives you full access to the third row, which, if you look at them carefully, they're beautiful, massive seats, and you get ISOFlex for both sides. So if you want to put the child seat in the third row, that will be perfect. You get cup holders onto the bottom over here in case if you're having a nice cup of coffee, you can make use of it right in there. I love this, and I have to say, it's easy to get into the third row. Let me show you. And look at this. For me, I'm 6'2". It's super comfortable. I got tons of headroom. I can sit in here comfortably, no problem, as long as someone in front of me can sit comfortably. There's this massive space in here, more space under this area. I don't see a problem for someone my height in here. It actually is, in some ways, a full-size 3-row SUV. In many SUVs, I tend to have a lot of problems getting into the third row, not in this one. And I love this beautiful panoramic roof, which, by the way, you can close it with the buttons located right in the front. Now, let's jump into the second row. The second row, of course, tons of space, and you still get a bit of that second panoramic roof and the first one. So you're kind of like in between. You jump inside, you realize you have the climate unit over here. This is a nice touch. There is heated seats in this case for the second row for both sides, and you know Jaguar Land Rover vehicles have these beautiful knobs which you kind of have to like press to get into the heated option. And then you have the buttons here for the fan position where you want it to blow air. Most likely at the bottom over there we have the USB ports. You got one USB here and one USB there, so that makes it 2 in total. Lots of leg room for me. Really nice position overall. I like this because it really feels very spacious overall for me that I'm 6'2". And then great visibility all around for the first row, which again looks very familiar in case if you have watched reviews before of the Range Rovers and Land Rovers in this case. I love the interior, the beautiful leather finish all around, and even the door panels. You can feel the quality of this car. And again, I've said this before, in my opinion, they actually have really high quality on the interior. Everything is built nicely. I love these cars. Now let's jump into the first row, but before we do that, let me show you something cool about this car. First of all, this is the R Dynamic, and you can see the badge here on the doorstep, but on top of it, on the middle pillar over here, you have the Discovery logo. Look at this, a nice touch. I love the little details that they have in these cars. Something that I definitely wouldn't miss when you open the door. Jump into the first row for the driver's side. Beautiful leather all around. Love this. Look at this headrest, how well it's carved all the way around, and like even the top part, it really makes you think that this car is built for comfort. And look at that. You can fold the position of the headrest on the sides. Besides having it up and down, you can fix this side. And on top, you have for the passenger the same thing. Beautiful leather all around. We have power seats for both passenger and driver side, the rubber mats by Land Rover. And then you jump into the interior. One thing you realize, we have this new steering wheel, which is similar to what you see on the Land Rover Defender in this case. Beautiful finish, but not as rugged. One thing I noticed with that, we have this chrome finish all around, something the Defender doesn't have. It's a bit more rugged in the Defender because that's the design. Now you probably wonder, that's actually not carbon fiber. It is more like carbon fiber finish, like it looks like carbon fiber. It's the same thing on the door panel all around. And another thing you notice with the Discover is that you have the mirrors switches on top over here, and also for the windows and the child lock. It is equipped with the Meridian audio system with this package. And let's jump inside. And here we are. First of all, you notice we have this massive digital screen. The disappointing part is that you don't get a heads-up display with this package, but you get a screen over here, which should be more than enough. We don't need more screens in these cars. Now, with this new 2023 model, we get the new infotainment display, this massive PVI system that you have seen in previous Land Rovers, like the Defender, the new Range Rover Sport, and so on. Beautiful touchscreen, easy to use. There's a lot of details in this car, like for example, you have your vehicle dimensions, you have the low traction launch, so in case you get stuck somewhere, that will come in real handy. Voice control, towing, and trailer. This, I believe, with the highest package, tows up to 3,500 kg, which is about like under 8,000 pounds or so. And then you have the phone connectivity for Android and Apple CarPlay, 4x4 information in case if you're going off-road. Look at that. Center lock and differential in this case with this package, weight sensing, and then traction control info at the same time. There's a lot of things about this car that doesn't just make it an SUV, it makes it an actual off-road vehicle, which is something to appreciate, because if you wanted to take a Q7, for example, or a BMW X7 off-road, well, that wouldn't be as great as this, or even a GLS Mercedes, not the same level. These cars are built for day-to-day, but also if you wanted to go certain off-road areas. You get the navigation system built in, which most people don't use. There's a beautiful 360 camera with a 3D option with this HSE package. There's another package called the Metropolitan, which is something that I couldn't review for today because it wasn't available. There's an off-road camera. There is a towing camera because this comes with the towing bar at the back. And then on roads, you can do the full 3D in here. You get a perfect view of the vehicle all around, so you know what obstacles you have around the vehicle so you don't hit them. You go into the vehicle. Now in this case, we have access to the air rides. You can do access. You can do normal. Basically brings it in certain position. And then take some time. And then you go into an off-road, which essentially lifts the vehicle all the way up to give you the optimum position and ground clearance. We're just going to put it in access mode. Oh, and of course, you can lock that so it doesn't move. There you go. That's pretty much it on this case. and then you go into the main menu. You get these little icons in here. You can customize these, and then you have your off-road quick access area, compass. Same thing onto the side, wheel info, the weight sensing as well, emergency, and so on. So it is quite easy to use and very intuitive and very, very fast. Now, jumping in here, one thing you notice is this button. So what does this button do? Well, this is a family SUV, so they've thought about adding more space. You press that, and look at this. Check this out, right? And you close it. But when you press this, this shows in here. So you get some extra buttons that you couldn't use when you fold this. But in case if you wanted to have it open, they thought about adding these extra icons. The fan speed, the de-icer, the AC button, and then there you go, because the screen turns off, so you can't use it once you open it. And then onto this area here, we have the climate unit and, of course, heated seats in this case. And then there is, I believe, ventilated seats option, which this doesn't come. But you can see the red dot means heated seats, and then the blue one means the ventilated. And then you have for climate unit here, fan speed, temperature, and so on. Easy to use. On top of that, underneath here, we have more space. And it's pretty simple because under there, you can just slide your phone all the way to the back. And now you got yourself a wireless charging pad located underneath this area. There's more space here if you want to use another phone, and then there's also a USB port at the end of that. So in case if you wanted to charge another phone, you have that access. And then in here, you can close this where you have two cup holders. And if you're done charging your phone, you can slide it right in there. Look at this. Or you can also slide it right in here. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it to charge because I needed to charge. On top of that, this area is another secret compartment. Look at this thing here. There's so much space in this car. On top of that one, there's another USB port and a USB-C port, and there's another compartment over here. They've thought about everything in this car. Oh, and if you wanted to put some coins somewhere, well, you can use this, and then you can close it, and you can open the whole thing together if you want it. Like, look at that. Easy access. Beautiful armrest all the way around. The next thing is, of course, the glove box. This got a massive glove box into this side, and then there's another one at the bottom. So I'm assuming this one would be for your extra things that you have around, and then at the bottom, this is for your paperwork, your owner's manual, like a normal car. Beautiful interior. One thing that disappointed me with this package is that you don't get that camera in the back. Why do I say that? Well, this would come in real handy because if you look at the back, well, visibility, it's not great with those headrests up. So in that case, you'd have to go and fold them to have the best visibility. Otherwise, can you see anything? Not really. So I would suggest you get that option because you would need it with this car, in my opinion. Like, you just can't see anything back there. Can you? No, I can't. Other than that, this car is pretty much like you'd see in more standard Range Rovers. The beautiful finished steering wheel. I love this. With these buttons, they are customizable. They change. This one's specifically on the left side. Then you have a cruise control, heated steering wheel. Beautiful, nice and grippy. Now, next thing is we want to go for a drive. Under the hood, the Discovery uses the inline 6 turbocharged engine with a 48 volts mild hybrid. Very similar, which means you got quite a lot of horsepower. In fact, it gets about 355 horsepower, towing about 7,700 pounds of towing capacity, which is quite impressive. Price. In Canada, this was started about $87,000, which means that's the SE, and then there is the HSE, and then there's the Metropolitan. In the US, it's essentially the same thing, but it starts at about $72,000 USD. Now this in Canada will go all the way to about $102,000, which it is a bit pricey, I will say, but at the end of the day, What else can you get? Well, some of its competitors are the Audi Q7, BMW X7. Still great vehicles as well, but at the same time, even those will be pretty pricey if you keep adding. Now, one thing I will say, between this and the Q7, I would take this any day, and it's very simple. This gives you more space, amazing for off-road, great handling, amazing ride, and it's got the power for the base model. Now, the Audi Q7 does offer an SQ7, which again is a bit more powerful out of the V6, but that of course means more fuel efficiency goes down the drain, and then also it's a sports SUV in some ways. But this can do a lot of things. It's a car that's, well, an SUV that is for off-road and on-road. The ride in this thing with the air ride, it's superb. Great visibility all around, minus the backside, which I did mention. Other than that, it's actually quite an enjoyable vehicle. I tend to find these things very, very underrated. And I must say that I've always thought that Land Rover stopped making these. You only see them in the used market in some ways. But they're very, very underrated and overlooked by many people that are looking for a luxurious three-row SUV. It's got the comfort, it's got the space. Behind the third row, I will agree with you, it's not the best space or the most in class. But if you don't need the third row, you just follow the third row and you got yourself tons of cargo area. But then again, I understand if you have 7 people sitting in here, what do you do? Where do you put the rest of the stuff? Well, you can figure that out easily. Either you buy a cargo box, or maybe just get something to tow and then just shove everything in there. But how many times do you carry a lot of stuff with 7 people? Not a lot. Now, if you do happen to have a lot of kids, then it's a different discussion, because then you'd have to look for something else that is a bit more spacious. This, in my opinion, is a great car that you need the third row once in a while to carry your parents or maybe family members. But if you have, let's say, 4 kids and 2 adults, then it's a different scenario. But I think for the price, this car, it's well priced in competition to the Q7 or the BMW X7. It's still well priced. I think the biggest problem people have with these cars is their idea that, well, it's not going to be as reliable and so on, which I understand that, but they offer great warranty, and most importantly, these cars are amazing for off-road. So they're not going to be that unreliable as people think. The seats are amazing in this car. They're so comfortable. Legroom is fantastic. I wish I could sit a bit lower because I'm too high. I don't like that much. But you get used to it, I think.